we get started here, you can see that Joe Burrow is having a just absolute fantastic season. Probably his best to date, which is really saying a lot because he's had some really good years already in his short career. But what makes this so fantastic for him and fascinating as well is the fact that his supporting cast is very poor. He's never really had a great offensive line, but he also doesn't have a good defense in this case, which is why the team's success has been so limited, and I think that's why he's become so underrated, which is crazy because he's a very cool figure, and that usually leads to people maybe overhyping you a little bit, but he is, I think, being underrated because the team's success just is simply not there. But as you can see from these stats, that's not his fault. His worst stat is success rate, where he's 7th best in the entire league. He is absolutely crushing every stat. Even his worst stat is very good. If you're unfamiliar with expected points added in particular, I have a video that breaks it down. It is a super useful stat that can tell you how well a quarterback, offense, and defense is performing. So it's a real do-it-all metric. And with that said, one thing that is holding Burrow back, as I alluded to before, is the pass protection. Burrow has the 25th best pass blocking when combining PFF's pass blocking metric for the team grade with ESPN's pass blocking win rate. So he's getting absolutely no help from his offensive line, and it has been very inconsistent the games that Higgins has played. So his second best receiver is also in and out of the lineup, which is hurting him furthermore. With Jamar Chase is playing fantastic. He's playing as well, if not the best that he's ever played. He is 2nd in yards per game and 27th in yards per reception. So he's absolutely crushing it. T. Higgins, when he plays, is playing about as well as he's ever played also. He's 6th in yards per game and 46th in yards per reception. Mike Gesicki, just been a fantastic pickup at tight end for the Bengals. He's 93rd in yards per game and 73rd in yards per reception among all players. My cutoff is 113th because you have your 96 wide receiver 1 through 3s and then 17 tight ends. That would make you above average if you're ahead of those players. So Gesicki is easily clearing that. He's playing at a very high level. Andre Iosivas, he is not playing very well, and he's their 3rd best option at receiver. Andre is 37th in yards per reception, which is good, but that's it. He's not producing with any sort of consistency. Another thing that is not producing with any sort of consistency is the running game, which could just be that the offensive line stinks, but it also doesn't help that they don't have too solidified of a running back situation. Right now, the Bengals are 24th in rushing expected points added and 30th in rushing success rate. So they are very poor, and that's just another thing that's holding back Burrow and this team as a whole. They are not checking any of the boxes, basically. They don't have good pass protection, they don't have a good running game, and as you'll see, they have a very poor not run defense, just defense as a whole, rather. They're 27th in defensive expected points added, and they're also 27th in defensive success rate. So that's good consistency. The unfortunate part is they're terrible in both regards. So they are very limited by their talent in addition to their performance as a whole. I would say that they have 5 above average defensive starters, with Trey Hendrickson being the real star of the show. He's elite as a run defender now, which is saying a lot because he wasn't very good as a run defender in years past, but he's very good there now, and he's still a fantastic pass rusher. They have BJ Hill, who's also very balanced. You could argue he's better as a run defender or as a pass rusher. He's that good at both that it's really up in the air. Mike Hilton, he's, I would say, a star as a run defender, but solid in coverage also. He did let the team down a bit against the Chargers with his dropped pick 6, but he is overall one of their best players on defense, even as he slows down a little bit due to age. DJ Turner, he has elite 4.26 40 time, and he uses that to his advantage. He is just one of the most athletic players in the entire league. He has out-of-this-world speed, as evidenced by that 4.26 40, but he has good change of direction skills also, which isn't always the case for people that are elite speed guys like that. Logan Wilson, he's a great run defender, one of the absolute best run defending linebackers in the entire league. So they have some talent. Their issue is they have equivalent bad talent, meaning they have 5 defenders I would classify as poor. Defensive tackle Chris Jenkins, I hate to say it because it just sounds so brutal, but he's pretty much useless. Edge Joseph Asai, same thing. Not really a good pass rusher. Not good against the run. He has really good athletic ability, but he's not using that to his advantage. Cornerback Cam Taylor-Britt, really struggling this year. Has talked a lot of trash throughout the season. Has not backed it up basically whatsoever. And then safety Geno Stone, another guy that's basically useless. He was great in coverage for Baltimore and really bad as a run defender. Now he's just really bad in both facets. Von Bell, he struggles with run defense, so that's really rough that both safeties can't defend the run. That could be reason to blame for their run defense as a whole being so poor. There's a lot of deficiencies on this defensive roster, and with this roster as a whole, there's star talent to help mitigate those issues, but these issues still present themselves in very real ways. Those are my thoughts on the Bengals. Be sure to let me know what yours are in the comment section, and also be sure to like and subscribe for more NFL content.